London Calling. I'm Tash, and this is Buccaneer, your source for what they don't want you to know. Today we're talking about policing, by consent or by force for profit. Ever since Sir Robert Peel created the police force as we know it in 1829, London has relied on the Metropolitan Police Service for peace, stability and justice. They weren't perfect, but at least there was some democratic control. Now there's a new sheriff in town. If you're a victim of crime or you just want to silence a peaceful protest, there's a new police force to turn to. Albion. And they're about as far from an old-fashioned Bobby on the beat as it's possible to get. When Hassani handed over London to Nigel Cass, many people were surprised. But we weren't. London has been up for sale and privatisation for years. The only difference is that now the private companies have guns. So how did it happen? What does it mean? How can we reverse it? And what's the price of justice? On Buccaneer, we conceal everyone's full names for their own safety. Here's Helen, who investigated policing, civil rights and justice in pre-crisis Britain.
One of the kind of classic hallmarks of a fascist leader is having their own private army or police force. You know, it is in a democracy, the state tends to have a monopoly on violence, and that's not what happens when the state fails. You know, you end up with people running their own private militias, and we've seen this all over the world. You know, every kind of great dictator in history has had basically their own jackbooted set of guys that they can send in to rough up people who annoy them. And that's the danger of a force like Albion. You know, you start taking powers to yourself, and actually who is in charge of telling you no? It's always a worrying sign when you see, say, a president surrounding themselves with ex-military guys, with, you know, 5-star generals or whatever it might be, because that sort of suggests that they want to run the country like you run a war. And in a war, you have to be incredibly hierarchical. You know, you have to be top down. People essentially have to obey orders, because that's the only way that you can make that work. That's not how it works normally in a democracy. And that's the problem, really, is you end up in a situation where normal peacetime checks and balances are suspended,
Danger.
and that's really
Vehicle
scary.
in critical condition. Please exit immediately.
Is policing ever politically neutral? We spoke to academic Alfie, all names on the down low, of course, about the politics of law and order.
I think it's very important.
Proceed to lockdown. What? What? Oh, shit.
Any luck yet?
Lock down this vehicle before it hurts someone.
Vehicle's been hacked. Searching for intruder.
All clear here. Moving on.
I've got this hacker found! This isn't...
Come out! Wherever you are.
Why worry?
Nobody's here. Searching elsewhere.
London Calling. I'm Tash, and this is Buccaneer, your source for what they don't want you to know. Today we're talking about 5%.
Albion have established an operational base in the Royal Court of Justice.
Oh, fucking bro. So now Albion can nick anyone they like and get the courts to put them away for as long as they want. What kind of justice is that?
Exactly. But it likely means there's information here about how Albion are targeting dissenters, the who and the why. We need that data if we're going to disrupt their operation.
No. Oh!
I've had quite enough of this. Suspect is armed. Taking fire!
Cover!
Moving in. I just sold him there.
I'm going to have a look.
They got away! Shit!
This area is being recorded by the GBB.
Huh?
That's it! I'm ending this!
What you got, Bagsy?
A list of what Albion consider high-value targets that are threats to the peaceful running of London. See here, a journalist, and this one runs a community shelter. Good God, bar your doors.
What the fuck?
All suspected of sowing rebellion or exhibiting tendencies towards... Albion is systematically arresting people even before they rise up. Joke's on them. This list can actually help us find like-minded allies willing to help us. Well done. Now, let's disrupt some of Albion's propaganda and give some hope to the people.
Today we're talking about policing. By consent or by force for profit. Ever since Sir Robert Peel created the police force as we know it in 1829, London has relied on the Metropolitan Police Service for peace, stability and justice. They weren't perfect, but at least there was some democratic control. Now there's a new sheriff in town. If you're a victim of crime or you just want to silence a peaceful protest, there's a new police force to turn to. Albion. And they're about as far from the old-fashioned Bobby on the beat as it's possible to get. When Hassani handed over London to Nigel Katz, many people were surprised, but we weren't. London has been up for sale and privatisation for years. The only difference is that now the private companies have guns. So how did it happen? What does it mean? How can we reverse it? And what's the price of justice? On Buccaneer, we conceal everyone's full names for their own safety. Here's Helen, who investigated policing, civil rights, and
classic hallmarks of a fascist leader is having their own private army.
Fucking look around. You've got Albion on the walls, Albion on the screens. They're everywhere. They don't want us to forget who's in charge, right?
There's going to be that much less once you're done here. Let's give Camden a break from these eyesores.
On it.
Me alone. Total cocking.
A reminder that any modifications or installation of illegal programs to your optic is a punishable offence. Security of London. If you hijack that scissor lift, you could use it to access the rooftop.
Yes, nicely done. That'll get people's attention. Let them know someone is standing up to Albion. Light the spark that they can stand up to.
If nothing else, it'll relieve their eye strain.
What now?
We're already seeing results from what you've done. That list we found named a journalist in Camden who's been investigating Albion. We reached out and he's got information that can help us. I think you should meet with him.
Give me the location.
We're hacked! Lock it down!
Look for whoever's hacking that vehicle. Deep breath. Here, moving on. No, lock it down. What? No. Comb the area. There's a hacker about. Safety and security are among most importance to Albion.
This is London Calling. I'm Tash, and this is Buccaneer, your source for what they don't want you to know. Today we're talking about policing, by consent or by force for profit. Ever since Sir Robert Peel created the police force as we know it in 1829, London has relied on the Metropolitan Police Service for peace, stability and justice. They weren't perfect, but at least there was some democratic control. Now there's a new sheriff in town. If you're a victim of crime or you just want to silence a peaceful protest, there's a new police force to turn to. Albion. And they're about as far from the old-fashioned Bobby on the beat as it's possible to get. When Hassani handed over London to Nigel Cass, many people were surprised. But we weren't. London has been up for sale and privatisation.
Word is you needed some help. What's the deal?
Your recruit's been sticking it to Albion. Can't believe someone else is. Thought I was alone, right? Not doing much, just putting the word out. But you? Taking action, mate.
Yeah, we got her, don't we? Otherwise, Albion's gonna turn the country into a PMC dictatorship. So what's up?
Almost got clip finding this. All of Albion's operational data for the entire city. Convoy routes, surveillance targets, assets. It's all there. Thinking you can make good use of that.
You ain't wrong, fam.
Here's a sample. Albion's closed King's Cross to the public, right? But what people don't know is that they're using it as their logistics centre. Materials, troops, whatever. A lot of it runs through there. You want to give the people a huge boost? Hit that place. Put it out of commission and you'll...
Hierarchical, you have to be top dead. People essentially have to obey orders because that's the only way that you can make that work. That's not how it works.
This is London Calling. I'm Tash, and this is Buccaneer, your source for what...
Albion's operational plans are just what we needed to really get some traction. We'll have to take a close look at this. Now, how do we take King's Cross offline?
Albion's housed a massive hybrid power generator. Output must be immense. You cause a power surge in that base and boom.
You doing some digging around or something? No way Albion's putting this shit out on the street.
It cost me a news strike. Okay, maybe 3.
You're a victim
But
of crime.
it's worth it if this comes off, right?
Protest. There's a new police force to turn to. Albion. And they're about as far from the old-fashioned Bobby on the beat as it's possible to get. When Hassani handed over London to Nigel Cass, many people were surprised. But we weren't. London has been up for sale and privatisation.
Possible hacked vehicle. Oh, God. Searching for the one who hacked this vehicle. Drone, initiate search.
Getting to that generator ain't gonna be easy. They've locked it up tighter since I last saw.
Any bright ideas?
My news drones are still in here. They should be functional. You can use one of them. Probably have better luck piloting it too, yeah?
Well, causing a power surge in a hybrid-powered generator isn't like making a toasty. We're going to need detailed specifications.
Well, let's go. See if we find anything. Wait, check this out.
Cool, looks bloody complicated. Newsy's got a pretty functional camera. Would a picture do you, Bagley?
It would indeed. According to this, there's an override code that'll get us into the generator's system. That's it. Use the code on the generator and I can trigger a power surge.
It should be enough to take King's Cross offline. And the rail system too.
Investigation underway.
Here we go.
We got a gold mine of information out of St. Pancras. Albion convoys, informants, gear, you name it. Everything we need to ignite the people of London, like we did in Camden. Derail Albion's operations and give the people a reason to rise up, borough by borough. The more we do that, the more we'll get allies flocking to the cause. We'll show London that DedSec is here for them.
That was off the chain, mate. I knew DedSec weren't the bad guys Albion was saying. Now the rest of Camden will too. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Now that you've shown the borough what DedSec is really all about, there are going to be folks wanting to join up. A lot of people have been looking for a way to fight back. In fact, there's one in particular I suspect will contact you very soon. I happen to know they're champing at the bit.
Now that's what I like to hear. The resistance is growing. Brrrah!
me, you're still alive. I owe Sabine a tenner. Not only that, but your resistance handiwork just opened up a whole new source of information. So now I spy with my hypothetical eye something interesting at the Ministry of Civic Management.
What is it?
The Signals Intelligence Response Service, or SIRS, or the Earl Grey Gestapo, have developed a surveillance technology called AR Reconstruction. It's the bleeding edge of privacy rights violation, and thus it could be very useful in our attempts to find Zero Day.
Just stay calm. Deep breath.
I don't want to get involved.
This is London Calling. I'm Tash, and this is Buccaneer, your source for what they don't want you to know. Today we're talking about policing, by consent or by force for profit. Ever since Sir Robert Peel created the police force as we know it in 1829, London has relied on the Metropolitan Police Service for peace, stability and justice. They weren't perfect, but at least there was some democratic control. Now there's a new sheriff in town. If you're a victim of crime and you just want to silence a peaceful protest, there's a new police force to turn to. Albion. And they're about as far as...
If you're feeling out of your depth or like you could use a breather, you can always call on your new teammates to step in. It's your call.
That's the advantage of working together instead of alone.
Here.
In theory, the AR reconstruction should allow me to use various sources of surveillance data to rebuild past events. Access a data relay, and I can scrape all the metadata for this area.
System must be acting up.
Bloody brats.
Something over there? God, that's revolting.
This way! Guns! I'm putting a stop to this! All right. Let's do this. Ah!
Yeah, you right?
That's it. Now, let's take this autocratic wet dream for a test drive.
CTOS-AR. Data reconstruction in progress.
Oh my days, this kind of thing could help us out big time.
You're right. We definitely need this extremely cool thing I want for investigating Zero Day. Shit! For some reason I can't clone it to our servers. All right, access the network here and let's see if we can't find out where to nick one. That's the CTOS up there. Aha! The SIRS has deployed this technology at their HQ, and I've just nabbed their manual on how to set up the system. Now, Scarpa, you can't steal their toy if they throw you in the gulag.
Sierra 42, Sierra 42, this is Control. An alarm has been activated near you. Survey the area. Over.
How are we supposed to get this AR stuff?
The program is hosted on a server that's on the roof of SIRS HQ. All you have to do is grab the whole thing, then take it to a few high-density locations so I could recalibrate it to the dead set network and clone my own version.
Yeah, that's cool, but how am I supposed to get the server off the fucking roof?
We need to find someone with access to a cargo or construction drone that can fly it off of there. Perfect opportunity to recruit a heavy lifter to the cause, I'd say.
So what exactly makes someone a heavy lifter?
Well, let's put our thinking caps on, shall we? Now, who in London would have access to a construction drone? Could it be a construction worker?
Obviously, robot prick.
Not so hard, was it? There's an active construction yard nearby. I dare say you'll probably be able to find a construction worker to recruit there. Here's the coordinates.
Vigilant and report any and all suspicious activity.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of The Upload. We're talking about the optic and how it's changed our lives. Now, as you remember, Bloom announced a new version of the optic at the recent Tone conference, but we haven't heard too much about that since due to the dramatic events there. Let's cast our minds back and consider the technology. I mean, the optic changed everything. It lets you see...
Oh, they have a beastly drone friend. I mean, the person looks efficient too. Occupation? Check. Drone? Check. This could be the one.
They look promising.
You look like you could stand up and fight for these streets.
Are you with DedSec? If you are, I could use your help.
Maybe, if we're not too busy. What's up?
I needed money for a medical bill, so I borrowed money from the Kellys. I've been trying to work off the debt, but they keep adding to it, saying I owe them more. If you can settle the score with them, I'd appreciate it.
All right. I'll tell my crew.
I remember when you used to have to sit down at a computer with an actual keyboard and mouse and type everything out. And my favourite feature...
Hank Kelly will bleed our new friend dry if we don't do something. This particular construction site is a money laundering front for a Kelly chapter out of Camden Market. Any record of the debt would be stored there.
Got it.
Optics marketing strategy, making it free for people, was a stroke of genius.
Genius. Bloom was really calculated when it was doing that. It was pushing this draconian device on us at all. Sure, everybody flocked to it. There was free Wi-Fi and phone plans. That definitely helped, but it wasn't a case of this is a product that you...
To today's episode of The Upload. We're talking about the optic and how it's changed our lives. Now, as you remember, Bloom announced a new version of the optic at the recent Tone conference, but we haven't heard too much about that since due to the dramatic events there. Let's cast our minds back and consider the technology.
Don't have the right tool for the job? You can exchange your gadget for a different one that's better suited to the situation.
Oh my days, look at this fucking setup. When did the Kellys get their shit together?
You're looking for a terminal or some kind of device that Clan Kelly would have stored the debt records on. While the drones observing your every move might make you feel like you're living in a city-shaped prison, what's bad news for society is good news for DedSec. You can hack those nosy little buggers and use them to scout ahead.
What's up, mate? I will shoot you.
Make this more unpleasant than it has to be.
They got me! Ah!
Taking cover!
Some more! Now that comes here.
Right, you're going to raise all record of their debt, putting our new friend back into the black and, more importantly, out of Clan Kelly's reach.
Sick.
Help me!
Jesus, no! Fucking it! Investigating. Where's my backup?
Transfer complete.
We wiped your debt with the Kellys. They shouldn't be bothering you no more.
What a relief. You know, despite what I've heard recently, you lot are really decent.
Hey, our squad always needs new blood. You in?
All right, mate. I'm in.
Great price. What could be better?
That really was something special.
People, please, give a man a job. Look at me. I'm on the... I'm not looking for hate, mate.
Where you can be a part of an exciting frontline scene.
Sunshine is always appreciated.
Yep. Of course.
Coming up in today's episode of...
Oh my god, I'm like your biggest fan.
Oops, sorry.
All right.
Whoa, hey. We're all friends here.
If you suspect a loved one of illegal activity, don't let them make a decision they'll regret.
Excuse me?
Coming up in today's episode of The Upload, we're talking about how Bagley managed to conquer London. Pretty much my favourite topic. I could talk for hours about the rise of the AI system. It's easy to forget about its origins. It's so present everywhere we go now. Bagley just kind of blends into the background.
Bagley is the service AI that's present in every Optic device. Whether you're using the Optic, Bagley will be there. The AI is streamed to your Optic from Bloom's Central Command Centre, and it was first created by Sky Larson, our tech hero, as part of her techno-utopian idea for the world. Why do you think it grew so quickly?
In my mind, it's no surprise that Bagley became so popular. It's funny, useful, fast. It's a great companion and really just makes life so much easier. I mean, when you look back at all the service AIs that used to exist, they just feel complete. When you ask Bagley anything, there's a quick answer and loads of information available to you. One day, I let Bagley answer all of my messages for a whole 24 hours and no one even noticed the difference.
The other competitors really just couldn't compete with Bagley. Their answers were so much worse, they didn't understand anything, and Bagley pretty much gets everything right first time. Do you have any idea why Bagley really beat all the competition?
Well, it's really the data, isn't it? Ever since Broker hooked up with Bloom, that's when things changed.
And really, that's not actually that great. Bloom has data on everybody. They collect information about everything you're doing across the web through your optic headset. Isn't AI only good because of Bloom's surveillance?
Well, I suppose so, but I'd prefer not to talk about that side of things. Bagley is so special because it's been trained on this huge cache of information. That's how these AI systems work, or at least used to work. I mean, we don't really know that much about the latest version because there's so much secrecy around the tech.
Life wasn't fucking hard enough. Here we go.
DedSec resurgence have prompted Parliament to approve the use of lethal force for Albion contractors. CEO Nigel Cass had this to say.
DedSec terrorists will quickly find that Albion, unlike the police force of this city, is battle-tested and proven in the field.
The Prime Minister's office has called this shoot-to-kill mandate a drastic but necessary measure to make
Glad you made it.
safe.
Hey, here's your new gear.
Moment of truth, right? I can't be part of DedSec and still try to carry on like normal.
Normal, fam. Feds have just said they can shoot us in the fucking streets.
I know it's a war zone, and I want to do my part, but I don't know if I can just walk away from it all.
Flip that script, cuz. You ain't walking away. You're fighting to protect what you care about.
Yeah. You're right. I'm ready.
Welcome to the Resistance.
Right. Welcome aboard, etc., etc. I'll give you the speech later. Right now, we need you and your big, strong drone friend to get on top of SIRS HQ and steal a server. Think you can handle that?
Moving out.
Urgent call. Possible hostile at your location.
Proceed. We'll engage if necessary.
Nibbling away on the rotting carcass of the once free Britain.
Yum yum.
Hello, bunch. This is the Bug. I'm Andy. This is Alice, and today we're going to be pretending that everything is fine. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, that was fun, wasn't it? That was as long as I could manage. A second and a half. A reality time now, however. And, well, finally today, we're going to road test the latest...
I'm terminating the search. Fall back. Over.
That's a gun, that's a gun.
Oh, they got one of us.
Moving on, no one here.
Front, begin a search. He's not here. Call off the search.
Come out and fight. Watch it!
Congratulations. You're the chosen one.
Acknowledged.